Hello everyone! Have you ever dreamed of visiting the most beautiful places on Earth and see the most beautiful landscapes created by nature? Well, especially for you, we've compiled a list of incredibly beautiful places, each of which is worth seeing with your own eyes. Let's get it on. Lake Baikal. The deepest lake and the largest natural reservoir of fresh water on the planet, and a place shrouded with legends. We're talking about Lake Baikal, located in the southern part of eastern Siberia. The lake and its coasts have a unique variety of flora and fauna, and the locals call the Lake Baikal a sea. The water here is amazingly clear and clean, and we use the word amazingly for a reason. Some stones and various things can be seen in a depth of 40 meters. However, this happens only in the spring, and in the summer and autumn the transparency is of just 10 meters, which is still quite impressive. By the way, even in the summer, the water temperature doesn't exceed 9 degrees Celsius, so you can't swim in the Lake Baikal like if it were a warm sea. But one of the most amazing mysteries of the lake is its ice. In winter, the lake freezes almost entirely, and by the end of the winter, the ice thickness can reach up to 1 or 2 meters. The lake's ice is able to withstand the weight of up to 15 tons if the thickness reaches 50 centimeters, and in the bays where the water freezes for 2 meters, even a train can pass over it. Also, the ice here is incredibly blue and transparent, and sometimes creates very strange forms, confusing even scientists. Empty ice hills? Only in Lake Baikal. Thousands of frozen splashes? You won't see this anywhere else. Playing the ice like a musical instrument? Wait, what? Yes, Baikal's ice is apparently capable of this. You can even say that it's the voice of the lake itself. Zhangyi Dansha landform. People love bright colors, but when it comes to nature, the only bright and colorful things are usually flowers and some other plants. But there are no colored mountains, right? Well, you're wrong, actually. In China, there is one amazing place where the rocks are tinted with countless colors of mostly brown and red shades. This natural wonder is located in the Gansu province near the town of Zhangyi. The Rainbow Mountains are a part of the eponymous National Park of China. It's impossible to describe all these colors. You need to see it with your own eyes. No wonder tourists come here from all over the world, because not every day you see rocks that look like an artist's palette. But the most interesting thing is that such a miracle of nature happened without human intervention. The rocks here consist of red sandstone and rocks of the Cretaceous period. Scientists suggest that about 100 million years ago in this place there was a huge body of water, accumulating silt for a long time. Later, the giant pool dried up, and all that had accumulated on its bottom began to oxidize and acquire such a variety of colors. Lensois Maranhenses National Park. Looking at the pictures of this place for the first time, you might think that it's a drawing, just a very realistic one. Lakes in the middle of a desert. But the Lensois Maranhenses really exists. This national park with snow-white dunes up to 40 meters high and amazingly beautiful fresh lakes with clean water is located in Brazil. 1,000 square kilometers of pure white sand with lots of fresh water. But how is that even possible? In many ways, this park resembles a desert, but here there's almost 300 times more precipitation than in the Sahara. It's due to the rainy season that the purest lakes in these sands are formed. The water just accumulates between the dunes. During the rainy season, birds come here, and shrimp and fish appear in the lakes, which comes in handy for residents of nearby villages. There's also vegetation here. When there's enough moisture, mangroves up to 12 meters high come to life. But during the dry season, from December to March, when the heat reaches 36 degrees, the lakes partially dry up, and many disappear completely. This is, by the way, one of the mysterious of the Lensois Maranhenses. Where do the numerous inhabitants of the lakes go during the dry season, and where do they come from in the rainy season? Cave of the Crystals. Caves with crystals are actually not a surprising phenomenon, but this place, discovered under the city of Nica, Mexico, is truly amazing. This is not Photoshop or an illusion. The cave is really full of giant crystals. They are as sharp as a razor blade, and some of them resemble a shark's mouth, fancy candles, or huge eyes of a fairy tale character. The mysterious place was found when drilling a 300-meter deep mine. In the main chamber of the cave are the largest selenite crystals ever discovered on the planet. For example, the largest of the crystals found reaches 11 meters in length, 4 in diameter, and weighs about 55 tons. The cave is extremely difficult to explore because of the extreme conditions: constant 90 to 100% humidity and temperatures reaching 58 degrees Celsius, so that an ordinary person can't stay here no more than 10 minutes without a special protective suit. Today, only scientists can access the crystal cave, but a couple of times mineral hunters have broken into it. We must say it didn't end well. Vatnajökull Ice Caves. In cold Iceland, the country of snow, ice, and unique natural attractions, there's always something to see and admire. But let's take a look at the ice caves, which look like the set from Frozen. The most amazing of them are located in the southern part of the giant glacier Vatnajökull. Its area is 8,133 square kilometers, which is 8% of the whole territory of Iceland. Ice caves arise from the movement of streams of meltwater, which seeps into large cracks of the glacier or at their intersection, and after centuries forms whole ice tunnels and aisles. Some of them, on the contrary, arise from below, thanks to the activities of the underground geothermal sources. These ice tunnels can reach 300 meters in length and 100 meters or more in depth, and its beauty is incalculable. Uyuni Salt Flats. Bolivian dried-up Lake Salar de Uyuni is one of the most interesting, unusual, and beautiful lakes in Bolivia, and in the whole world, and all because it's completely different from other famous lakes. Just imagine, the huge solid Lake Uyuni has an area of more than 10,000 square kilometers and an almost completely flat and mirror-like surface, and it's salty. Uyuni is a big ball of salt that runs for 8 meters all the way down to the bottom. During the rainy season in Bolivia, the lake fills with a small amount of water, thus forming the world's largest mirror, and it's worth it to take a look at. The Giant's Causeway. The coast of Northern Ireland, just 3 kilometers away from the city of Bushmills, is covered with 40,000 columns, and none of them are man-made. Most of the columns are hexagonal, although some have 4, 5, 7, or 8 sides. The highest of them reaches 12 meters. Not surprisingly, this place is called the Giant's Road. Who else, if not ancient giants, could use these huge steps? In one of the Celtic myths of the 3rd century AD, it's said that the hero Finn McCool, having decided to fight against the giant Goll, hammered a number of columns into the bottom of the Irish Sea, and thus built a bridge so as to not to wet his feet. Tired, he lay down to rest. At this time, Goll himself went over the bridge to Ireland and came to Finn. Finn's wife scared the giant with a trick, and he fled in horror, destroying the bridge on the way. Since then, only the stone columns remain.
What a load of crap! Every word is true.
But scientists have another explanation. According to their theory, these bizarre pillars were formed 50 to 60 million years ago. During the eruption of a volcano, hot and very liquid basalt lava broke to the surface right in the bed of the then existing river. The outer layers of lava quickly cooled under the influence of water and formed stone columns, as if hammered into the ground. Waitomo Caves. The northern island of New Zealand has a unique natural attraction that draws thousands of tourists every year. The main feature of the Waitomo Cave is that it allows its guests to reach the stars, almost literally. However, behind the beautiful glowing ceiling that looks like a starry sky lies a fairly simple secret. The effect of the stars in the Waitomo Cave is created by a special kind of fungus gnats. Not only do the insects themselves glow, but also their larvae, luring in the prey. Yes, it's a boring explanation, but it doesn't make the Waitomo Cave less fascinating. It's almost impossible to move around the grotto on foot, and because of the large amount of water, there's also no light, so it seems that you really are in some magical place. When you move through the cave, it's recommended not to make loud sounds, and to behave as carefully as possible, otherwise the glowing effect can be reduced. The larvae have the ability to turn off if they feel any danger. Spotted Lake. A spotted lake, like something out of Tim Burton's imagination or another Alice film, huh? In fact, the Spotted Lake is not a creation of the famous director. It is real and is located in British Columbia, near the town of Osoyoos, not far from the border with the United States. The lake fascinates for its unusual, even extraterrestrial look, because its entire surface is covered with colored spots with solid frames. In winter and spring, the lake looks like any other lake, and it begins to acquire its unique appearance only in the hot summer. During this period, a lot of spots of different shapes and colors form on the surface of the lake. The color of the spots depends on the time of the year and the weather conditions. At the same time, along the edges of the spots, due to the drying, little islands of minerals covered with a strong crust begin to appear. They're so solid that they can withstand the weight of an adult. The water in the Spotted Lake is rich in various minerals and has a high concentration of magnesium sulfate, calcium and sodium, as well as silver and titanium. Of course, you can't drink this water. Even fish don't risk swimming in here. At the moment, the Spotted Lake can be admired only from a distance if you stop on the highway, as the area is fenced with barbed wire. You can approach the lake only with the permission of the elders of the local Indian tribe. Redwood National